Hello and welcome to the show that teaches you the things your parents and teachers are too afraid to. The Heliosblog. Today, the Whatever podcast talks about some crazy stuff. Wifely duties in this one. Okay, let's get into it.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
Honestly, I don't even recommend it though.
I think
I
also
like-
in the interest of girls, I don't think that they should be performing wifely duties for their boyfriend.
Disavow.
Yeah. Like,
Disavow.
you're not going to be doing your boy's
Disavow.
laundry.
Disagree. The girlfriend is the tryout for wife. So if you fail the tryout, then you don't become the wife.
Period.
Like, no.
On the
that
first,
is-
Mary,
My
on the
boyfriend
first
does
date,
everything
Mary,
for
on the first date, you bring a girl over, you have her fold your laundry.
Have you done this, Brian?
I have done it.
And what do they think?
Laundry, sandwich,
What do
we
the
have to
girls
get the
think of
basics
it?
out of the way.
I'm like, if a girl just gets right into it, boom, 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 starts folding, she does it all expertly and shit.
And she bows. That's
I like
essential.
about.
She
Oh,
bows
Nick,
to
can you find that video? If she bows, I'm gonna marry her.
We're doing this all
Puts a
over
little
again.
pillow mint on there.
Exactly.
But moving in together doesn't mean that you have to start doing the wifely duties. You could totally
No,
divide
it
up
doesn't.
like the
I just
domestic
think
tasks.
a lot of girls unintentionally fall into that situation where they start acting like a wife to convince the guy to propose to them, and that is not the way to do it.
Well, is the
like,
guy
pick
providing?
me.
No, that is the way to do it. That's exactly the way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, pick me, choose me.
Yeah, that's how it's done. Exactly like that.
Because
But
I can
if-
fold your
if-
laundry. I'm gonna fold your laundry on the
But
first
it's like,
date.
if
That's
he
like,
gets all
That's
of
not-
that
you know what I
without
mean? Like I'm gonna
marrying
come
you,
over and
why
fold
would
your
he?
laundry on the first date. That's like
If he gets a maid and
Pick me.
a sex worker, essentially, like, why would he marry you in the first place? Like, why?
I don't understand. So you're saying that before you're not going to do it, but after you're going to do it? I don't get it.
I mean, if
What
he's
is his
paying- like it's so
incentive?
crazy.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $100. Chick moves in, gets the ick, gets drunk and pissed. Next thing you know, she has the copus there and dude catches a case. Playing with fire gets you burned.
Yep.
Just rescued a friend from this. One in the chat if you know this song.
Yeah, I mean, there's also like that potential risk there when you're cohabitating.
That's the risk. That's why you don't just go into a relation. You don't just go into cohabitation. You have to, you have to test the girl, right? Otherwise, it's very dangerous.
Also a lot of like if there's even if it's like intra partner violence and it's like mutual or something. Not that I'm advocating that
Still the guy's fault.
somebody do that, but there's like the Duluth model. So even if she's the aggressor, you're going to get arrested as the guy in a domestic situation. So there's definitely some, in addition to like tenancy issues, there's other legal liabilities with cohabitating. There's biases against men when it comes to like the Duluth model that will just assume even if pretty much the bigger person's going to get arrested, even if the smaller person was the aggressor.
So you don't think they should endure?
That
First
turned
off-
into such a stupid clip that got so blown out of proportion. Like, at least we
Which,
can
by
agree
the way,
on that,
I didn't say anything during that entire segment. I
Hey,
was
neither
sitting
did I. And I also said that divorce
But no,
is
yeah.
definitely permissible in the cases of abuse and
But no,
domestic
you should not
violence.
endure.
And I was accused
Disavow.
by Destiny of saying the opposite. And he said,
Okay.
you 1000% hate abuse victims. And I mean, you couldn't
I think
look at a more obvious straw man than that. That was insane.
I guess because like MLD is more aligned with you guys ideologically.
Not
Is
me.
he?
And like
Not me.
not you, but you.
No.
What am I? You don't know what what do you think I am?
Am I making
I
assumptions?
don't think
that
I
you
agree with
offended?
MLD about almost anything.
I disagree. I mean, first, I certainly disavow the statement he made, but yeah.
Well, I was gonna say like I don't think it's unreasonable for the audience to assume that you guys are just more ideologically similar. In that
Well, it's just
like
we're
from that
sitting on one
conversation,
side
that
of the
they will
table.
take your silence or like a lack of pushback on someone saying something as egregious as that as like a tacit endorsement, whether or not it's right or wrong. I'm saying I think that's what happens. Like the assumption is made.
Yeah, that's what happens. But I mean, and I had a conversation with Destiny about this, and he kind of echoed basically exactly what you said. I mean, I don't think unless a person, unless you hear explicitly says something that, even if they're just sitting next to somebody or they agree with them on certain other things, that necessarily means that they agree with them on everything.
I guess because it's such an outrageous claim, that like statement for MLD to say, for it to just be like, for you as the host to like let it stand and not be like, to be clear guys, I disavow, or like that's his perspective, not mine.
You have a show, it doesn't mean that you agree with the opinions of every single person on the show. That's like saying no matter what you say, the host agrees with it if they don't respond to it. Like, that's ridiculous.
Like, let's say, hypothetically, you invited a neo-Nazi on your platform, okay?
I don't think I would do that, but okay.
Okay, so you, like, hypothetically, you invite this guest on, and they start saying just some crazy shit, okay, about Jews being really, really racist, anti-Semitic, like, bigoted. In that instance...
Is this girl a buzzkill or what? Go ahead, continue.
If they said something like that, would you not feel like speaking up to make sure, like, hey, I don't endorse that? It's an extreme, but...
I mean, that's a very extreme example. First off, I would say I would not invite somebody like that on my platform to begin with. But I would also say that we were like 4.5 hours, five hours into that podcast. Mm-hmm. I was actually not even doing that much talking, even as the host for that episode. And I don't know if you recall, I like literally got up and like laid down for 10 minutes because I was having like, I have
the neck issues.
Mm-hmm. So I was kind of checked out, to be honest, but like, yeah, I mean.
So final answer, you should not endure.
You should not.
Yeah, you should not endure.
I just wanted to see if there
disavow.
was ever like, I guess, an outrageous claim made. If there's ever something that you would feel like, I just have to say I don't agree because to let it stand might give the wrong impression.
Look,
again, this is that like womanist, like if you're not with us, you're against us idea, right? Just because you have not counterpointed doesn't mean that you necessarily agree. Isn't that what the disclaimer is on every podcast?
Look, but if you're saying you don't endorse it, I believe you. I don't
endorse it. And look, I believe whether you're a man or a woman, you have the right to leave an abusive marriage and get a divorce.
Right.
This is so controversial.
Yes.
Yeah, and
it was hard for him for MLD.
MLD, he's his own individual. He's entitled to his own opinion on the topic. He was also, I think, 8 White Claws deep, so...
Yeah.
Oh, was he getting wasted?
He was like, she shouldn't burn the dinner then if she doesn't want to go.
I have a feeling MLD
was
even if he were sober, dead sober, would have said like,
do you think so?
endure. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
He's open. He's welcome to prove me wrong.
In any case, whether he was drunk or not, I certainly disagree with his position. Disavow. But moving on, let's get through the intros for people's relationship status. What I think we left off with you. What about you?
I'm currently in my first relationship. We've been together for like the same time, like 3 months.
Okay.
But we've been like talking, kinda, like hooking up, not really talking.
With other people?
No, with each other since January.
Oh, so you were in a situation.
She sounds like she's on some substance right now.
And now you're...
We weren't really in a situationship. We were just hooking up.
Friends with benefits?
Was it open? Like you guys were seeing other people?
We weren't really friends. Yeah.
You hated each other?
No. We just didn't really talk unless he was there.
What do you mean?
So he was more attractive than you by a lot, and you agreed to a relationship where he just comes and sleeps with you and then leaves. That's what you're implying here.
There.
Like at my place.
So he would come over, hook up, leave. Pretty much that was it.
Does he live with you now?
Yeah.
Okay. How's that going?
It's a necessitous.
It's great.
It's going great. Okay.
Yeah.
Mary, what about your relationship status?
I'm in my first and only relationship so far. It's about a year old.
All right.
First and only relationship. Fantastic. Yeah. So she's had situationships before that, is the implication. I've been single for the last 10 years. Okay.
I'm married. I've been married for about 6 months now. Are we still saying how long our longest lasting relationship is?
Just what your longest relationship is?
Yeah, a year. Well, almost a year, but yeah, I'm currently married.
And that's your longest relationship?
No, my previous relationship was my longest relationship.
How long have you?
Alpha widow and then marry the next guy.
You've been married?
I've been married for 6 months, but before we were married, we were friends. We weren't necessarily like in a relationship.
I see. So, as I said, alpha widowed and married the next guy. Literally called it immediately.
Oh, did he propose when you were friends?
Well, the situation is kind of funny. We've been best friends for over 2 years. And we were really close, really good friends. And then I got in that relationship that I was talking about before, the one that was almost a year.
With Chad TC Esquire.
Broke up with that guy, and then
he swooped in.
Look at her expression when she's talking about Chad.
Kind of, not really. I didn't break up
He was always there. He was the guy waiting in the wings.
with this guy for my current husband, but I did know in the back of my head, like, he was an option, he was a possibility.
That's
and
right.
so then the conversation came up, we would be like...
We call that beta orbiters. That's why we, one of the relationship rules is no male friends.
You know, we'd make a really good married couple, because we just get along so well. And then after that conversation came up, things kind of changed. We actually fell for each other.
Cap. He was a nice meal ticket. He was a great option. He was a great safety net. And in 5-6 years, when she's, totally bored of the guy, she'll divorce, take half his money, and go back to Chad.
And we both have God. We have the same morals, same values. It was really just too perfect.
You can't make this crap up.
To say no, so we got married.
Wait, just point of clarification. How long were you guys romantically dating before you got married?
A week.
Maybe 4 months.
Okay, so friends for a period of time, 4 months
Best friends,
dating.
4 months, married.
How long were you best friends for?
2 years.
How long were you engaged?
2 years, okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to put it together.
Wait, so the guy was trying to weasel his way in of that relationship for 2 years, right? Or he was interested in her from the beginning. She started dating a guy because he wasn't like this guy. He was like a, masculine. Then she realized she had no future with Chad because Chad was going to go sleep with a bunch of girls. And so she switched to the safety net, to the backup option. Yeah, that guy must feel great.
You were best friends while in a relationship?
You see?
When I was in that relationship, the friendship kind of faded. And then at the end of the relationship, we got back on being best friends. But no, out of respect for my boyfriend at the time, I kind of took a step back. And he understood why, and he had no problem with it.
Okay, another point of clarification. You said your previous relationship was how long?
It was almost a year. It was maybe 10 months.
Okay, so you break up with him. How soon after breaking up with your 10-month boyfriend did you get into dating your now husband?
1 week.
Maybe
becoming technical.
4 months, I think.
Cap.
I don't know. I've never really thought about
4
it.
months.
Probably
Stop
about
the
4
cap.
months.
I think that's
Okay.
really cool how he could witness you being in love and still be there, because there's some people that are like,
he wasn't interested in me, and I
Yeah.
wasn't interested in him.
Yeah. Men and women are never interested in each other when they're in friendships. Never. The man is never interested in bedroom fun. He's never interested in being the guy that has bedroom fun with her. No. He's just a friend. He has no intention at all. Yeah. There are no such thing as men and women best friends. The guy always wants to get laid.
But he still was your friend and cared about. He
so
wasn't
he
like,
wasn't
I'm leaving,
friend-zoned.
because he didn't have
No, he wasn't just friend zoned. He was
Wasn't just friend zoned. He was ultra friend zoned.
other interests. And no.
Beta in waiting.
Oh, he pulls. He pulled like crazy. So
Who?
no, he
Your
wasn't.
husband?
Yeah. Before we were married,
Brian's
he
like,
pulled
I need
crazy.
details.
So he didn't
Beta in waiting.
just wait and hope for me to finally.
Wait,
give
did
him
you
a
guys
chance.
elope? Or was there an engagement, or did you just elope?
No, we got married in a church. He didn't propose to me will you marry me? We kind of were just yeah, let's get married. So technically we were engaged from that point.
So
We set a
he
date.
didn't Ring,
kind of a
on
cool
his
story.
knees, like nothing like that.
No, not anything. Because since our relationship started out as a best friendship, that isn't really us. Like the whole proposal,
Romantic, or what do you mean?
No,
It morphed.
yeah,
into
things
something.
like him getting on his knee and proposing to me. It's just not really us. You know.
Word. Dave, what about you?
Well, I've been married for 8 years. We've been together for 13 years. He's a dude, which is interesting to people.
Okay.
We have 2 1-year-olds, and I'm feeling very old right now because there's been several words that I have not understood.
Can I let me translate for you?
Yeah,
Was it ick?
What was it?
Was it ick? Was that
Well,
one?
ick was one, and then there was what was the pole? What's the pole?
It's when you like
He pulls.
get girls.
Yeah, he
If you
gets
Oh, he
girls.
pulls.
Yes,
Oh,
when
he just, wow, he's
Girls
pulling. Got
like
it.
him.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Got
It
it.
was, yeah.
And you said you're married, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been married for?
8 years.
8 years.
Together
okay.
about 13. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, which in straight years, that's like 50 years, basically.
That's
Yeah.
Is
So
it?
That's a long time. Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, they say that I mean, gay relationships are notoriously unstable because if you have 2 men, both men want to get laid with different guys, right? It leads to a lot of relationship instability. Like just a relationship with a man and woman has instability because men always want to sleep with other girls, right? And it has to be an urge that you repress.
What do you mean by straight years?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
mean?
Because
So,
people think
to
gays
speed.
don't have like normal relationships. So if you've been with someone for 8 years and you're gay, it's like 20.
Wow.
I have never heard of that.
Well, it's weird. It's like there's
I
this
learn something new every day.
cohort
And 2 1-year-olds?
of gay people
That's
that do
like-
have long-term
Yeah.
relationships, but then the majority of them don't.
I guess, I don't know. We actually don't even have that many gay friends. Like the few that we do are couples that have been together for a while, but with kids usually.
When did you stop dating women?
Like a little bit after college. I tried. I really tried.
Did you
It
know
didn't
you were
work.
gay the
I-
whole time, but you just
Yeah, kind of, but like I was trying, you know what I mean? Like I was really trying.
You wanted
like,
to be
I-
straight.
Yeah, it's also like I'm 47, so I was in college in the early 90s. It was
Yeah.
Those
very
were the
different.
days.
It was
Yeah.
very different back then than it was now. Like there was you couldn't be like normal and gay or anything like that. It was before gay marriage. It was like, what the hell is this thing? You know what I mean? So
And I
I
assume
tried. I
the
sent-
girls were flinging
I owe a
themselves
lot-
at you.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't
I
the
owe
other
a
way
lot of girls from back then a lot of apologies because like girls always loved me and I just like I
pulled.
tried, but I pulled. I was pulling.
You were
Dave
pulling.
was pulling.
Yeah.
He pulled.
He pulls.
Let it be
Unfortunately,
known that if he
unfortunately-
wanted to, he would.
Yeah, but not everything was working, if you know what I mean. And
Got it.
So Dave.
yeah. But
yeah, one of the comments was like, "She going to divorce me later in life." Indeed.
as far as the moving in and everything else you guys were talking about, like if you love the person and it's the right person that you're supposed to be with, it doesn't matter if you've been together for 2 months. Like if it's legit and real and you know the person and it's not just because they need a bed and you need some cash and like you're supposed to be with them, then it really, there's no rule. You could be with them for 6 months and move in. There are people, you will find people that have been together for 40 years that knew each other for 2 weeks and they were like, that's the one.
That's fair.
And,
That's fair.
And then you do it. You got to
Happened to
figure.
my
You got to
grandparents.
be on the adventure with
did you go
somebody.
to college? You went
Yeah,
to college.
yeah.
Where did you go?
SUNY Binghamton, upstate New York.
Oh, okay. Was it a party school kind of or not?
I was
Not
a
really?
major pothead.
You were- oh, you were a
It
pothead.
wasn't. Yeah, I guess it was just a lot of weed. It was a lot,
A lot of weed.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Was there-
kind of like walking around Santa Barbara, actually?
Yeah,
It's not a lot of weed
Have
out
you been
there.
here before, by the way?
A couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's been a while.
And so, when did you graduate from university?
98.
98. Would you say? I mean, you probably witnessed things. Was there? Because in colleges, there is certainly, at least today, there's definitely quite a big hookup culture. Was there a
Yeah.
hookup culture?
Oh yeah, it's college.
Back in the
It's
90s.
college, man.
Of
Yeah, it's
course.
college.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everyone's. I mean, you're basic. I think actually, it seems probably back then people were probably having sex more. I think people probably now between porn and whatever, like you just getting off in different ways. Where back then you actually like if you wanted to like get off, you had to like find
had to
somebody
find
to get off with.
a
Old
body,
school, you know?
a
Yeah.
warm body.
Yeah. You'd
Yeah.
have sex with someone else. It was weird.
Yeah, Brian, you said hookup culture, but as far as I know, aren't Zoomers like losing their virginity later and later?
That's right. That is what's happening. It's because the system is becoming more difficult, right? The bar to entry is higher, right, because of social media. So,
Is there like a statistic or?
Well, that is true.
Is it true?
Yeah, that
Zoomers
like
are
they're
having less sex than millennials did at their own age.
Yeah, like there's all this talk about like how the younger generation, like millennials on the cusp and like Zoomers specifically, like hookup culture and like fucking a bunch, but I don't believe that's the case. And I think that's like a reason why there's kind of like this loneliness epidemic amongst like boys particularly, but like Zoomers in general.
Yeah, it's because, as I said, the girls want the top guys and they share them, and then the rest of the men are invisible and alone.
Waiting longer and longer to have sex, so.
They party less, they socialize less, of course.
Yeah,
that means
they're online.
that they have less relationships, they have less sex.
Yeah, so like I don't find the hookup culture really, I feel like that's getting phased out, if anything.
I mean, the thing is, you could get...
No, hookup culture, like hooking up with guys other than Chad, is getting phased out. That will never go away, but it would be nice if it was hidden so that the girls wouldn't have their reputation hurt as a result.
Everything so easily now, right? Like you can get every human connection you want, whether it's sexual or emotional or anything, basically from your phone.
Dating apps.
Yeah,
Well, there's a simulation of it, but not the real thing.
Yeah, so it's a huge problem because you used to like actually have to go to like, have any of you ever gone to a bar by yourself and just like sat at the bar?
Yes.
And
When
seen if a guy, seen if a
21.
guy like hits on you or even just have a drink by yourself. Like there's something about that. Like in the old days, like if you were meeting a friend at the bar or at the movies, before you had a phone, right? Like you had to stand there and then you would people watch. You'd actually just like look at people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like we've just sort of devolved all of that, so our brains are just never not.
Yeah. Basically, the ability to cold approach is gone. It's from most people. Yeah.
Hooked into the matrix.
Yeah.
And I think that's added to a lot of the kind of loneliness and craziness that it seems like a lot of people in their 20s are feeling right now.
And then I think it's linked to a lot of like depression and anxiety too, because you're so like isolated.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
Why are men so afraid to approach women these days?
Me too.
Me too. That's right.
Is it
TV,
that?
news, and things. It never seems that nothing bad is reported about a woman doing something, but it's always like, I mean, growing up, my mom was a police officer, so she would always, kind of, just from her own experience, she'd say, oh, you better lock the door because, a man could come in and
The stranger danger mindset.
Yeah, and here's, as a young girl, I'm like, oh my gosh, men, scary. Me, like this little thing I need to protect. Like, so it may be just that conditioning maybe over time and yeah, but I've heard some interesting, crazy stories about women too, like doing things, but I'm like, man, why wasn't this on the news? Like, it needs to be equal.
Because it's not on the news, because the news isn't there to tell you the truth. It's there to keep your eyes on the screen. So whatever's more sensational is going to be posted and, put out there.
Cool.
Well, I think like there's obviously the fear of rejection in there too. It's not just Me Too, right? Like
Oh, certainly.
men, there are a lot of
100%.
insecure men out there that really don't want to face the possibility of rejection, so they will never put themselves out there.
Ah, so it's men's fault. I see. Yes, not at all. Has nothing to do with girls getting fat. Has nothing to do with girls sharing Chad and not even giving the bottom 80% of men a chance. Has nothing to do with 4.5% of guys being the only guys that are swiped right on Tinder. No, it has nothing to do with that. No, it's gotta be it's got to be men's fault. They're too lame to approach. They're too nervous. They're too scared. It's men's fault.
At all. But then again, on the other side, women need to learn how to reject men without, being rude to them and having some grace about it. Like that's kind of a lost art, is rejecting someone in a generous way.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
I agree.
I mean, I think a lot of men have the experience of maybe they're a little shy or nervous, but they're not otherwise being creepy or a jerk or an asshole, and they'll approach a girl and it's like a fucking just a train wreck. And some women will graciously reject a guy. Hey, oh, thank you very much. I have a boyfriend, whatever. But a lot of men will have the experience of going up to a girl and it's like, it can be pretty brutal. The ways in which men get rejected. Certainly in like a party type environment, if there's alcohol involved, even a guy who like in a very polite way goes up to a girl, like when alcohol's involved, people can be very obnoxious and brutal, and also with social media, you have like men are also scared of like being like, they don't want to come off like a creep, not just in that moment, but then like if the girl goes and tells all her friends, oh, this guy came up to me and approached me, and I don't know, so
she can record you. Yeah.
I think
well, if she posts and then he's a loser to all her friends, and then it's over, right? The whole network is ruined.
The other thing too is because of dating apps, like before it was, if you wanted to meet somebody, you had to approach them in person in some capacity. Otherwise, you pretty much, like, there was no dating app. So
Grid One
but now that
donated
with dating apps, it kind of alleviates
Normally
that.
I would ask what the girls bring to a relationship besides sex, but since the ICK is a thing, how about they discuss what men should bring to the relationship and what should men be willing to endure for the pleasure of their company?
Yeah. So it's backwards, right? Like men are the prize, actually, because women want a relationship and to be taken care of for a long period of time. They want a protection and provisioning, right? And again, when they have lots of options, they're very brutal about their choice. That's how that goes. All right, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all the notifications, drop me a donation like Hunter, M, Adrian, Tom, and Bobby, and Dylan. Shout out to you. Most recent purchase of Strategist Guide to Seduction. Thank you. My books can be found at bit.ly/heliosbooks. If you're interested in joining my Patreon, it's patreon.com/theheliosblog. If you want coaching, message me at theheliosblog@gmail.com. I'll slot you right in. Thank you so much for listening, guys, especially if you listen to the end. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.